Welcome back to my build of a Piper Cub J3, and I'm back on the wings again and really excited to get these finished. The two main jobs I have to do really are the attachment at the front of the wings where they slot into the fuselage, which we'll have a look at in a second, and also the trailing edge, the wing attachment to the actual fuselage itself at the back of the wings, and the ailerons. And then it's going to need a good sanding to get all the leading edges, the trailing edges, everything profiled nicely. Okay, well, I've sanded these side bits now so it fits nice and snug between the fuselage. There's still a little bit of profiling to do when the whole thing's finished. What I've actually done as well is put in a couple of locating dowels here, because I didn't really think this 3mm kind of overlap, so this 3mm piece hooking under another piece on the fuselage was going to be quite secure enough. I was concerned that, you know, if you put a lot of pressure, perhaps do a roll or a loop, it could put a lot of stress on it. So I've put in these dowels, and I thought I'd just show what I've done. These are just chopsticks, disposable chopsticks, so it's bamboo. I've drilled through and epoxied them in, and just epoxied them onto this this brace here. So that just gives a little bit more more security. I haven't put this top piece in here that will fit down there yet, because I'll wait till I've got the back end of the wing, the trailing edge of the wing, finished and screwed in, and then this will be the final piece that goes in, just to make sure everything's held tight. But I thought I'd just show you what I've done with the dowels as I'm about to start shooting the underside and covering that in. Well, I'm coming to the end of the major wing construction. There's obviously still a lot of sanding and profiling to be done, but I just wanted to show you what I've done with the ailerons. I've mounted the wings here onto the fuselage. They're bolted on with some 3mm bolts into some nuts that are in hardwood on the fuselage, so that's nice and secure. The original plans show the ailerons coming from here right the way down to the fuselage, which isn't scale, and I don't particularly like the look of, so I thought I would shorten the ailerons. I have this little tip that goes right on the very end there, and then the ailerons carry on from there. What I've actually done is, I mean, these are just held on with some magic tape at the moment, just so that I can see how they work. And I've done a linkage, which is in a piece of aluminium tube, excuse me, like this. This is for the left hand side, so that hangs down into the fuselage and will be coupled with the servo. We'll see that later in one of the later videos when I gear it all out. And this actually goes into the aileron. Now I've set that up now, and you can see that is working there. That hangs down, and I'll just show you what I've done. If I take off this tape, and this last piece. Okay, so to turn that over, you can see that the aileron itself is actually, if I just pull that out, all this will be epoxied later, but that just goes into the aileron. I'll epoxy all this in, and I might even put some cyanoacrylate on this end just to harden it up. And then I've got the trailing edge here, which has got the aluminium tube in, and then the control linkage that runs in that. I didn't actually need to put in this this pipe. It's just a piece of aluminium pipe, but I just thought it would give for a much smoother run, and that does. It feels lovely, rather than just doing a groove in the balsa here. and then gluing it on and worrying about the glue sticking to the linkage and perhaps gumming that up a bit. So that just slots in there. The actual channel itself, I put on a piece of the aluminium marked either side with a pencil. I then cut down either side with a scalpel, and then I just sharpened the end of this aluminium tube which had to fit, and just used that as a bit of a gouge to make that channel. So now I've got a lovely channel there that's just the right size. So next job is to glue all this together. It's really making me think, really taxing me to make sure I get everything right, because obviously once I start gluing things together, it's going to be difficult to go back and correct it. If I just show you the underside of this, just stick that back on, just to hold that while I turn the fuselage over. Okay, I don't know how well I can show this. Okay, we can, let me just, you can see the linkage there. I mean, it's just a standard linkage that you get in a lot of planes. There's nothing special about it. And that will link into my servo mount in the centre there. So I'll get on and complete this, and then the wings are more or less done, other than, like I said, just the finishing. Oh, and I just turn that back over. Oops, you can see the bolts here that are just holding the wings on. That's all epoxied in, just to make sure that doesn't come loose. Okay, well, I've been spending a lot of time sanding, particularly on the ailerons, to get those to shape so they all fit nice with these trailing edges. And the wings are more or less finished now, except for just a final finishing sand before I start covering. The ailerons are working nicely. I've just got I haven't done the hinges yet, that's one more job. But I've just got a little bit of tape at the end of the aileron there, just so I can see how they're working. And they seem to be lovely and smooth and free, so I'm quite pleased about that. So it's nice to see them take shape and to get this finished. I've had it secured down onto the fuselage, and everything fits nice with these trailing edges here, so there's minimal gaps, and the locating pins on the front, so it's a good secure fitting. The next job now I've completed the wings, is to move on to the tailplane and the fin, but I hadn't been wanting to do that previously until I could bolt this down, have this finished onto the fuselage, and then I could make sure the wings and the tailplane were parallel and level, but also use the wing tips as a reference point, just to make sure that the tailplane, when it's fitted, is exactly right. So I'll get on and do that, and it's really exciting how this is starting to take shape.